The rain fell in sheets, each drop a tiny mirror reflecting the relentless neon glare of Neo-Kyoto. For Kale, it was just another night, another delivery. The package was small, almost laughably so, a simple, old-fashioned locket. The client was anonymous, the pay was decent. Routine, or so she thought. She zipped up her jacket, the synthetic fabric cool against her skin, and revved the engine of her hover bike. The locket was tucked safely in an inner pocket, its cold metal a small, solid weight against her ribs. The drop-off was on the other side of the Chrome District, a straightforward run. But as she merged into the sky lanes, a prickling sensation crawled up her spine. The feeling of being watched. Dismissing it as paranoia, a common ailment in her line of work, she pushed the thought aside. That was her first mistake. A sudden, blinding light flared in her rearview display, followed by the high-pitched whine of an overcharged plasma rifle. A bolt of energy seared the air, missing her by inches and vaporizing a chunk of the guardrail beside her. Instinct took over. Kale wrenched the handlebars, diving her bike into a narrow, unlit service alley between two monolithic skyscrapers. The sudden G-force pressed her into the seat. Behind her, two sleek, black armored vehicles gave chase, their engines roaring like metallic beasts. These weren't common street thugs. They were professionals, kitted out with military-grade hardware. All this for a locket? It didn't make any sense. The alley opened into the lower levels, a labyrinth of steam pipes and discarded tech. Kale knew these streets like the back of her hand. She cut the bike's lights, relying on her augmented vision to navigate the treacherous maze. The hunters were close behind, their searchlights cutting through the gloom. She had to ditch the bike. Slamming on the brakes, she slid to a stop behind a mountain of discarded android parts. She vaulted off the bike just as another plasma shot turned it into a molten ruin. She was on foot now, a ghost in the machine. Her comm unit crackled to life. It was Jax, her handler, his voice a distorted rasp. "Kale, what's happening? Your tracker just went haywire." "I'm compromised," she whispered, her breath fogging in the cold air. "Elite mercs. 2 squads, maybe more. They're after the package." "The locket? That's impossible. It's a low-value trinket," Jax stammered, the confusion clear in his voice. "Abort the mission, Kale. Ditch the package and get out." "Too late for that," she replied, peeking around a rusted girder. The mercenaries were spreading out, their movements disciplined and efficient. "They're not giving me the option to walk away." She had to keep moving. Every shadow was a potential hiding spot, every sound a possible threat. She scaled a maintenance ladder, her fingers finding purchase on the cold, slick rungs. From the rooftop, the city sprawled below like a circuit board, a dazzling, dangerous expanse. But her pursuers were already ascending, their grappling hooks biting into the concrete edge of the building. There was no time to think, only to act. Kale sprinted across the roof, her boots splashing through puddles of grimy rainwater. She leaped across a chasm to the next building, landing with a roll that absorbed the impact. She was a whisper, a flicker in the perpetual twilight of the Undercity. But they were relentless. A sniper round ricocheted off a ventilation unit next to her head, showering her with sparks. They were trying to corner her. She needed an advantage, something to level the playing field. She ducked behind a large air conditioning unit, her mind racing. The locket. Why was it so important? Her fingers fumbled as she pulled it from her pocket. It was antique, silver, and intricately carved. Not the kind of thing you'd expect to cause this much trouble. She pressed the clasp. It didn't open. Frustrated, she examined it closer. There was a tiny, almost invisible seam running along its edge. A puzzle box. Another volley of shots forced her to move. She slid down a sloped solar panel, using a discarded data cable to swing onto a lower balcony. She landed in a darkened apartment, the former occupant long gone. The mercenaries were rappelling down the face of the building now, their red optical sensors like demonic eyes in the night. She had to figure it out. Now, running her thumb over the seam, she felt a slight indentation. A pressure point. She applied force, and with a soft click, the locket sprang open. But it wasn't a picture inside. It was a microprojector. A beam of shimmering blue light shot out, casting a complex star chart onto the dusty wall. It was a celestial map, but the constellations were unfamiliar. And at the center, a single system was circled, with a string of alphanumeric characters scrolling beneath it. Coordinates, not for a place in the city, but a location deep in the uncharted sectors of space. The forgotten outer rim. The realization hit her like a physical blow. This wasn't just a delivery. It was a map. A map to something lost, something valuable enough to kill for. A treasure. The door to the apartment burst inward, splintering into 1,000 pieces. A hulking mercenary in full tactical gear stormed in, rifle raised. Kale didn't hesitate. She threw a smoke pellet she kept for emergencies, filling the room with a thick, disorienting cloud. Using her thermal vision, she saw his silhouette. She was faster. She sidestepped his blind firing, disabled his weapon with a swift strike, and used his own momentum to throw him through the shattered window. She had to get to Jax. He had the resources to decode the map, to understand what this was all about. Her new destination was his hidden workshop in the old reclamation yards. It was a risky run, straight through the territories of multiple gangs, but staying put was a death sentence. As she raced through the neon-soaked underbelly of Neo Kyoto, new adversaries emerged from the shadows. A different team, their gear marked with the insignia of the ruthless Crimson Hand Syndicate, tried to intercept her. Then, another faction, cybernetically enhanced assassins from the clandestine Omnicorp, joined the fray. It was a free-for-all. Everyone wanted the locket. Kale was no longer just a courier. She was the keeper of a secret that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. She was the most wanted person in the city, hunted by forces she couldn't comprehend. Every alley was a potential ambush, every friendly face a possible traitor. She fought her way through the chaos, her skills honed by years of surviving on the edge. A close-quarters fight in a noodle bar, a high-speed chase through crowded market streets, a narrow escape from a magnetic debt charge. She was a whirlwind of motion, a testament to pure survival instinct. Finally, battered and bruised, she reached the reclamation yards. The air was thick with the smell of ozone and rusted metal. She slipped into Jax's workshop, a sanctuary hidden behind a holographic wall of junk. Jax was pacing, his face pale. "Kale, you're alive. What in the stars is going on?" She didn't waste words. She placed the open locket on his workbench, the holographic map still glowing faintly. "This," she said, her voice steady despite her exhaustion. "This is what's going on." Jax stared, his eyes widening in disbelief and then dawning comprehension. He let out a low whistle. "The Lost Armada. I thought it was a myth. A children's story. It's real," Kale said, looking at the coordinates. "And we have the map." Jax looked from the map to Kale, a new light in his eyes. "This changes everything. This is bigger than any delivery, any payday. This is the score of a lifetime." Outside, the sounds of approaching vehicles grew louder. Her pursuers had tracked her. There was nowhere left to run in the city. Kale looked at the map, then at the door. A slow smile spread across her face. The hunt wasn't over. It had just begun. Her mission was no longer about delivery. It was about discovery. She wasn't just a courier anymore. She was a treasure hunter. And her journey was just starting, out there, among the stars. Can Kale escape this onslaught, or will she get to where the map leads? Find out in the next episode. Like, share, and subscribe for more adrenaline-fueled stories.